There are love stories. And then there are obsessions. This is the story of a man who believed he had found his soulmate, not in life, but in death. A man who defied science, morality, and even the grave, all in the name of love. His name was Carl Tanzler, and for 7 years he lived with the corpse of a woman he believed was destined to be his bride. It's a tale so strange, so grotesque, and yet so tragically human that nearly a century later, it still haunts the world of medicine, ethics, and folklore. Who was Carl Tanzler? What drove him to steal a body from a mausoleum and live with it? What kind of love or delusion could lead someone that far into darkness? Carl Tanzler was born in 1877 in the German city of Dresden, a place of beauty, science, and cultural pride. As a child, Carl was imaginative, intelligent, and deeply eccentric. He claimed to have dreams, vivid, recurring visions, in which he was visited by a long-dead ancestor. This ghostly woman, he said, showed him the face of his true love, a woman with dark hair, olive skin, and piercing eyes. He believed that woman existed, not as a fantasy, but as fate, a living person he would one day meet. As he grew, Carl became deeply fascinated with science. He claimed to have traveled widely through India, Italy, and the South Pacific. He spoke of secret medical knowledge, mystical healing methods, and ancient prophecies. But many of these stories were never verified. There are no records of him completing formal medical training, despite later calling himself Count Karl von Cosel. It's likely that much of his background was invented, a fantasy to fit the grand narrative he had built in his mind. During World War I, Carl was living in Australia. He was arrested and placed in an internment camp for enemy aliens. It was during this time that he met a woman named Doris, whom he later married. They had 2 daughters, but one died in childhood. That loss for Carl was profound, perhaps even foundational to his later obsessions. After the war, he returned to a broken Germany, and in 1926, with Europe in ruins and the future uncertain, he left for America alone. He arrived in Florida, first settling in Zephyr Hills. His wife and surviving daughter eventually joined him, but the marriage was strained. Carl was distant, erratic, consumed by ideas of destiny and death. In 1927, he abandoned his family and moved to Key West. There he found work at the United States Marine Hospital as a radiologic technician. He was in his 50s now, gray-haired, eccentric, but well-spoken and intelligent. He wore a white lab coat, built strange machines, and often spoke about curing diseases no one else could. Colleagues found him odd but brilliant. Patients trusted him, and still the vision of the dark-haired woman lingered in his mind. In April of 1930, she arrived. Maria Elena de Hoyos was just 21 years old. A local Cuban-American woman, born into a working-class family, she was known for her beauty, flowing dark hair, soft features, and quiet grace. She had come to the Marine Hospital with her mother, coughing and feverish. The diagnosis was tuberculosis, incurable and deadly at the time. To the hospital, she was a patient, but to Carl Tanzler, she was the fulfillment of prophecy, the woman from his dreams, his soulmate. He became obsessed immediately. Carl volunteered to take over her care. He gave her expensive medications, strange potions, electrical treatments, all unproven, some entirely imagined. He brought her flowers, jewelry, clothing, perfume. He wrote letters and poems pledging eternal love. He proposed marriage, but there is no evidence that Elena ever felt anything for him. By all accounts, she was polite but distant. She had a boyfriend. She was dying. And Tanzler, while medically competent, was also clearly unhinged. Despite his efforts, Elena's condition worsened. Tuberculosis consumed her lungs, weakening her body until, on October 25, 1931, she died. She was 22 years old. Her family was devastated. Tanzler offered to cover the funeral expenses. He told them he would build her a beautiful mausoleum, a private tomb in Key West Cemetery. Grieving, they agreed, but they did not know one detail. Carl Tanzler kept the only key. Every night he visited her grave. He would sit inside the mausoleum, sometimes for hours. He claimed Elena's spirit spoke to him, telling him she was not at peace, that she was cold and lonely. He believed she needed to be rescued from the grave. And in 1933, nearly 2 years after her death, he acted on that belief. One night, under cover of darkness, Tanzler crept into the cemetery. He removed Elena's corpse from its casket, placed it into a toy wagon, and wheeled it slowly, street by street, to his home. He lived alone on the outskirts of town. No one saw him. At his house, he laid the body on his bed. It was in an advanced state of decomposition. Over the next several weeks, he began a bizarre and macabre process of preservation. He used piano wire to hold the bones together. He stuffed her chest and abdomen with rags to keep her form. He replaced rotting skin with layers of wax and plaster. He inserted glass eyes into her sockets. When her hair began falling out, he collected the strands and fashioned a wig. To mask the smell, he used gallons of perfume and disinfectants. He dressed the corpse in gowns. He slept beside her. He spoke to her. He sang to her. And this continued, unbelievably, for 7 years. Neighbors noticed strange things, strong chemical odors, never seeing Carl during the day, reports of singing late at night. But no one imagined the truth. In 1940, everything unraveled. Elena's sister began to grow suspicious. She had heard rumors that Carl was keeping a life-size doll in his home. She contacted the authorities. When police entered the house, they found what appeared to be a statue until closer inspection revealed it was human. The body was removed, and Carl Tanzler was arrested. The story made national headlines. Newspapers called it the strangest love story ever told. Some were horrified. Others were bizarrely sympathetic. An autopsy confirmed the body was indeed Elena de Hoyos. Her corpse had been severely tampered with, but preserved in grotesque detail. A public viewing was over 6,000 people came to see the body. It was later reburied in an unmarked grave to prevent further interference. Tanzler was charged with maliciously destroying a grave, but the statute of limitations had expired. Legally, he walked free. Psychiatrists examined him and declared him mentally competent. He maintained that he had not done anything wrong, that he had simply wanted to preserve his beloved. He claimed Elena's spirit visited him constantly, even guided his work. He insisted that she had consented, spiritually, to their relationship. After the trial, Tanzler moved back to Zephyrhills. Alone, disgraced, and in his 70s, he continued to obsess over Elena. He built a life-sized effigy of her using death masks and wax. Rumors swirled that he once again slept beside it. He died in 1952 at the age of 75. His body was found on the floor of his home, clutching a life-size doll dressed as a bride. Some reports claimed it was another replica of Elena. Others say he died holding a photo of her corpse. Whatever the truth, his final years were a descent into isolation and delusion. Carl Tanzler's story lives on as a cautionary tale, a grim curiosity, a twisted reflection of love gone mad. Some called him a romantic, others called him a monster. Perhaps he was both. He blurred the line between mourning and madness, science and superstition, love and obsession. And in the end, his life asked a chilling question. How far can someone go when they believe love justifies anything? It's a question that still lingers, just like the scent of roses in a sealed tomb, or the echo of a love song sung to someone who can no longer hear it. Not every love story ends with a kiss. Some end in silence, and some refuse to end at all.